Okay, this is my stevia plant that I brought back from Tennessee, but now I'm noticing that it got eaten up by something. It's 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and I shot a work video this morning, and I'm shooting another one right now. It's June, and there's always so much to do for a gardener, so stay with me. The first thing I'm going to do, these are loofah, and they're all really healthy, and I really hate to disturb the roots. Obviously, I can't grow more than 4 or 5 vines, and separating these, there's 3 to a cup in some of them. Separating them could damage one or all of them, so I'm going to carefully select one to keep. Lucky, this one only had 1. And these were seeds that germinated from my 2016 loofah video. So many people wrote me and said, "Why aren't you eating that? Why are you making sponges?" So I said, you know, I should give it another chance, because I only ate 1 of those in 2016. And so that's primarily why I'm growing these, to eat them young when they're tender and green. It's hard to tell which of these 3 I should cut. These have ants, so let's do that one. I've got 3 here also. I'm gonna eliminate that one and probably just go ahead and take that one. Okay. When loofah's growing, it puts out some serious roots. Look at this. You see all these roots that are coming out of these little ones here? That is so ready to be planted. I would love to sell a few of these, but I don't have anyone ever coming around inquiring. Obviously, I can't grow them all. See? Oh, that's 2. Okay. All right. The next thing I'm doing is potting up this basil plant that's been waiting so long to be planted. I put some fish fertilizer in here, and I'm just going to let it sit for a couple of minutes while I dig my hole. When you use wood chips, you have to just pull them back and then dig your hole and then replace them. Now, this is a tomato plant that was a volunteer that is not going to do much, and so I am sacrificing it. But I'm going to put my basil plant right here. You can still tell that there's wood chips down here, but they've really broken down. We also have a lot of roots in here, and I'm starting to wonder what they might be from, because they're not from that tomato plant and they're not from those onions. So my fear is it's from the birch tree. Hi guys.
Hi. Oh.
You have a question?
No, I'm just admiring your garden.
Oh, thank you. That's very concerning that there's so many roots here, so we'll see how this basil plant does. While I'm right here beside this tomato plant, I see that there are leaves at the bottom that have blight. And I'm going to remove them and put them directly into a bag and put them into the garbage. You do not want to compost leaves with fungal diseases. And I'm going to use my clippers, little alcohol on them before I make my cuts. And I'm going to cut all of these leaves at the bottom. Now I do have tomatoes growing at the bottom, so fingers crossed. But you see, this is a typical sign of blight where you have the yellowish, and then in the middle it's a brown. I spent a lot of hours when I first started looking up on Google pictures, and this is typical. I think this is early blight. So before dark, I will be spraying these tomatoes. I also see some aphids. It's always a good idea to cut the leaves of the tomato plants up at least 1.5 feet from the ground. Unfortunately, I'm seeing fungal disease on this one too. This just looks like mildew, powdery mildew. Oh goodness. When I put that in there, the spores just flew that way. Wow. This tomato looks a little anemic, and I'm thinking about replacing it with another one that I have to just see how it does. Look how much healthier that looks. There's a lot of mycorrhizae in here though. You see all the little white fibers? That's all good stuff. That tells me that it's very possible that whatever is invading this bed with big roots is keeping things from getting water. Wow, there are major roots in here, and they've got to be from the olive tree or from the birch tree. This garden is going to need a complete makeover. And those roots are sucking up all the water because the soil is dry. Let's just hope that this tomato can commingle through this season and do well. What this means is I'm going to have to hand water these tomatoes quite a lot this summer and stay on top of that. Same thing here, roots, roots, roots. Two years ago when we added to this bed and put in the wood chips and then we got all the grubs, there was a whole video I did of Eric going through this entire bed. He took all the wood chips out and he sifted through this entire soil. It was like sand. It was beautiful. And he took out all the grubs. And now you can hardly get a spade in there. This is like the soil when I first came here. So hard. That's actually petrified wood, I think. Well, it's going to be a challenge for these plants to make it in this environment. But it's June 9th and I got to get this done and see how well things go. Alcohol. Fingers crossed. Get some more water. Yeah, there's a lot on the bottom of this one. There's also tomatoes. And it's marching up the plant pretty quickly. That's concerning. I'm taking off every single leaf off the bottom of this plant. What I find interesting is this plant was added from the volunteers over there. These two big plants were overwintered in the back and they did have some mildew, powdery mildew. But they have gone crazy. Now I do see some small tomatoes on here, but I also see some brown shriveled up leaves. Very hard to access because I did not prune this. But clearly I need to, because look. That could be wilt. Look. And when I say it's gone crazy, it's gone crazy. Wow. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray all the tomato plants with neem oil and see if I can get this fungal situation under control long enough to get some tomatoes, which is my usual, oh gosh, that's my usual MO for the summer. I see that my hummingbirds are not happy that the feeder is empty. Powdery mildew comes from the soil. The spores are in the soil, so if you splash your water when you water, it's going to splash those up. Neem is actually a plant, and the oil and the seed meal is made from that, all of which is good for plants. You just don't want to be spraying it right before you harvest. Got some yellowing leaves over here too. You know, it's not like I wasn't warned or that I didn't know better, because I do know better than to crowd my plants. I don't know what it is about my fascination with having a jungle. Oh boy. It would be nice to experience just once in my life having everything just nicely laid out and organized and under control. It'd be nice to see what that's like. Okay, what else? So much needs to be done. Oh, I know what I have to do tonight. That's imperative. I have to mix up the nematodes, the beneficial nematodes, and spray. That's what I have to do tonight. Okay, I just fell and I tripped on that concrete hose thingy, went backwards, fell over this camellia bush, and landed on my backside. And also my right wrist got a little bit of tweaking. But anyway, I have this apparatus set up. Where is it? Where'd it go? Ah. This is the container that the beneficial nematodes, you have to buy it separately, of course, but it comes in the correct size for the amount of nematodes you order. Now, I always find these things kind of hard to deal with because the water comes out so fast. But here we go. First you water, and then you water the whole area that you want the nematodes, which is this entire area. So here we go. I mean, I don't know why they can't just put a nice, easy little knob on these things. Okay. ideally, I want to spray everywhere that could have had olives falling. So now I'm going to turn it on. Wow, okay. And I'm guessing that's not going to last that long. It's a small bottle. So bottle is empty. I am going to coil up my ropes and put things away and call it a night. And the next video will be harvest. So thanks for watching. Like the videos. Find ways to support the channel in the description below. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.